on the trot, a good show outside, but then again you come back to the Kotla where you weren't really happy with the way the wicket played. So do you think it's more difficult coming back now after winning 3 games to your home ground?
It shouldn't be, no, it shouldn't be any more difficult. It's going to be more difficult for Mumbai, I think, coming and playing on this sort of surface. So, look, I think we have a pretty clear understanding now how our wicket is going to play. We expect that it's going to be quite slow. We think it'll be quite low and it'll probably turn a little bit. So, we just have to be well prepared for that. I think the last wicket probably caught us a little bit off guard. We thought it was going to play a bit better than it did last time, but at the end of the day, the wicket is what it is. Both teams have to play on it, and then hopefully we can play better on this one than we did on the last one.
Vicky, how has Rishabh taken the World Cup exposure?
Look, I had a quick chat to him on Monday night, I think, when the team was named, and look, he seems to have taken it pretty well. I mean, there's no doubt that he's disappointed. I'm sure he would have loved to have been in that squad, as a lot of other players would have as well. But the thing with him that he has to remember, and we all have to remember, is he's still very, very young, and he's got an opportunity to play in, potentially another three or four World Cups through the course of his career. So, what's been a negative thing for him not being picked in the Indian team, I think will be a really positive thing for the Delhi Capitals. I'm really happy that that decision's been made now, and he can focus on just being the best player that he can be for the Capitals through the back half of this tournament. And as I said a few games ago, he's won one game for us single-handedly, which was the game in Mumbai. He had a big impact on the game that we won in Calcutta, and I'm sure as the tournament goes on, you'll see him win more games for us.
Vicky, I'm Satyen. Vicky, same question. How Rishabh is mentally prepared, Say everybody is saying so many things about every great, even Gavaskar saying something, all the leaders saying somebody saying that he's pretty impatient. Do you agree with that?
No.
That cost him the place in the team.
Well, if they're only going look, I don't know what went into the selection criteria. I don't know why he's not been picked. I don't know why the other guys have been picked ahead of him. And to be honest, that's none of my business. I don't think he's impatient. I think he's a very smart player. To be honest, I think he sums up conditions very well. He sums up situations in games very well, as far as I'm concerned. But they've obviously got their reasons for not having him in that World Cup squad. But I can't really comment on what those are, because I know what I know of him, and I know he's a very talented and very determined player. And I actually think that him missing out, you might see a different player in the back half of this IPL. As I said, his determination will shine through, and I'm sure he'll score heavily in the back half of this tournament.
Vicky, just a continuation of those questions. Were you surprised when his name was not included? And in the middle of a tournament like an IPL, how do you boost the morale of the player, in such a situation?
I was surprised when he was left out of the squad. I thought he'd be in, and I thought he'd actually play on their starting 11, to be honest. I thought that someone like him batting at number 4 or 5 or wherever in their side could just be the sort of player that could have had that sort of X factor about him that could have been the difference between India and some other teams in the World Cup. So, look, yes, I was surprised, but as I said, I don't understand the reasons why. Obviously I'm not a selector of the Indian team. They've obviously got very good reasons why they picked the other guys as well. And one thing we know about Indian cricket is that there is a lot of depth around, particularly on the batting side of things. So unfortunately this time Rishabh's the one that missed out, but as I said, I think knowing what he's like and what talents he's got, I'll be surprised if he doesn't play at least 3 World Cups before his career's over.
And how do you boost the morale of the player in such a situation during a tournament like an IPL, which is so important?
I think it's just really important now that he focuses on the little things that's going to make him a good player for us. Simple as that. There's nothing he can do now. Obviously, it doesn't matter how many runs he scores from here until the World Cup starts. He can't get into that squad. All he can focus on now is winning games for the Delhi Capitals. So I think there's enough motivation there for him with that. He's talked a lot about wanting to be a successful part of a successful Delhi team, and we've got that opportunity now over the next month.
Yeah.
Vicky? Yeah. You won 3 games on the trot. Delhi is right there in second position on the table right now, but you know how Delhi has been fluctuating over the years. It's very good that they are in this position that they are, but we know that the business end is coming up now, and there are matches which even if the team loses a couple of them, then things can go back. So how do you see the team being placed at this position and at this point of time and the tournament going ahead?
Yeah, look, we're well placed, no doubt about that, but you can't take anything for granted in this tournament. Yes, we've won 3 games in a row, and yes, we've won 5 games out of 8, but that doesn't mean anything till now. I mean, we know that you're going to need at least 8 wins to qualify for the playoffs. That's been our focus all the way along. So, you know, but I'm happy with where the team's at. I think the last 3 games, you know, I think the boys have taken a lot of confidence from each one of those games, probably particularly the last game against the Sunrisers, when we probably didn't bat as well as we would have liked, but you can see the determination and the focus and the way that we went about it with the ball and into field, that it really meant something to this group of players to win that game on the road. So, look, we've got a new challenge tomorrow. Mumbai obviously playing some really good cricket as well, back to our home ground. We want to play some good cricket here. We haven't done that really as yet, apart from that, you know, heart-stopping win against the Knight Riders here. So we just want to make sure that we're a really hard team to beat at home. You know, we've got 4 games to go here. If we win a few of those, then we're getting closer to that playoff stage. But, you know, right now, we're just the same as every other team. You know, no team has qualified yet, and we're exactly the same. So we just got to focus on tomorrow.
Last question.
Just in addition to that, most teams have their fortresses when they play at home. They have a very good track record, and they kind of feed on the home support. Delhi does better away than they do at home. So is that something to do with the pressure, or is that something to do with the ground, the pitch? What?
Look, let's just focus on this year. We've played 3 games here. We've won 1 and lost 2. You know, we've beaten Mumbai at home. We've beaten Calcutta at home. We've beaten Sunrisers at home. So obviously some of those teams have got issues with their home ground as well, and that's the way we look at it. At the end of the day, it's a very, very even tournament, and if you don't play your best on any given day, you know that any team can beat you. It's as simple as that. So that's our whole focus for tomorrow. You know, we've got to put the conditions aside. We know we have a pretty good idea what they're going to be like. We just got to find the right way to play. And with the talent that we've got in our group, if we find the right way to play here tomorrow, then I know we're going to be hard to beat. We're going to be hard to beat in every game we play going forward. I can guarantee everybody that. So, yeah, they're the challenges there. You know, there's challenges on a daily basis in the IPL because, as I keep saying, all these teams are very good teams with very good individual players, and it just takes 1 or 2 players on any given day to have a day out, and that can be the difference in the game. So, look, we'll just go about preparing well again today, and then hopefully the boys can bring it out there tomorrow night.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks a lot.
Next question was the podcast.